Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Flying VDU, where we run through our opinions on gear, how we use things, tips, tricks, hacks, strategies, whatever things we have to talk about that come with gear. Now, today we're going to run through the Yeti Go Box. This is what I use for my blind bag. So this is going to be an overview of what I put in my blind bag and why. Starting with the Go Box. This is the Yeti Go Box 15. We've been using these. This was our second season, and season is over now, so you're gonna get to see how my blind box ended the season, not started. This Go Box is really handy, man. I really like it because it's waterproof, it's durable, it's big enough to hold everything that I need, and it just carries nice. I mean, everything about this thing, I love the Go Box for a blind bag. But we don't ever hunt out of layout blinds. If you are a layout blind hunter, this is not your solution. If you're an A-frame hunter, a pit hunter, a boat blind hunter, this box is money. I definitely recommend looking into it. All right, opening this thing up. Starting with the headlamp. We've been running these Fenix headlamps. These things are bad to the bone. They're bright as hell. The battery lasts a long time. These things are slick, slick, slick. We go through headlamps like crazy around here, and this is the one that has lasted the longest. Now, we've had a couple of issues with batteries and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, you spend $200, you get a badass headlamp, and it brights everything up like Wrigley Field. Next up, lanyard. And again, I want to talk about this Go Box. It comes with a tray, right? And so this thing is double layered. So you have the same footprint on the ground, but you're able to get more capacity with this little caddy here. And so I'm going to start on top. This is everything on top. I got my lanyard. Again, our season's over, so what I ended the season with is a bunch of Goose calls, right? I got an acrylic call from Grounds, I got a call we're working on with PC, and then I got a wood call from trying it at Molkier. Between these three calls, I can basically, I feel comfortable calling any geese, whether it's big geese, little geese, early season, late season. One of these calls is going to be able to get them in. Shout out to Travis Goldman for building this badass lanyard. If you need a custom lanyard, that thing is awesome. Okay, staying in the caddy here, I got a whole bunch of stuff. I got extra duck calls here, just a few single reeds, double reeds, cut downs, whatever you may need over the course of the season. I like to have loose inside of here on top, so you can just grab it and go. And if it's the call that's working for the day or for that flock, then maybe I'll throw it on my lanyard because I don't want to keep picking it up and setting it down. But usually I run, a duck call or two and a goose call on this lanyard, and then have a few loose calls here in the top. I got a dry erase marker here. That's for our whiteboard when we're doing our little sessions in the morning, just in case we've lost a marker. I can go ahead and break down the hunt, break down the spread, the hide, everything for everybody, so we can divide and conquer. Medicine, Zicam. I seem to get, somewhat addicted to that stuff over the course of the season, especially late when my nose is always plugged up and you're blowing that call, and it just gives you a headache if your nose is all plugged up. I also got a bunch of Mucinex sore throat stuff, because at the end of the day, you're not gonna stay at home. You're gonna go hunting whether you're sick or not. So having a little bit of medicine doesn't help. I got extra shells here. This is just like one-offs. I got garbage here. I got empty shells. I got full shells. I got a full 10 gauge TSS shell that, just in case something cool flies over, I can pop it in there. I got an empty hull for a 20 gauge apparently. Another call. I carry a knife in here. This is just a pocket knife. This is something quick. If I need a knife real fast, or somebody needs to cut something, whatever it is, I got something really fast and handy. That's on top. My Lucky Duck spinner. This usually during the season will live on the lanyard, But once we enter late season, we're not duck hunting anymore, I take it off. So it lives here though. I got my Sound Gear Ear Pro. This is carried with me every single day. I'll bring it home, charge it, whatever I need to do to get it charged. But this box, this little soft case box, it's small, it's handy, and it fits them perfectly. This is just what you get from them. I throw it in the top of the box and it's always there. What else we got in here? Sunglasses cleaner. This ends up living on top. It starts in the case and then it ends up on top over the course of the season. Extra pair of fingerless gloves. I like carrying some fingerless gloves with me because a lot of times I'll end up taking my gloves off. Well, then my hands get cold and I want to have something. These fingerless gloves are really, really handy. More medicine. I got more shells. Pens, these are for tags. These are for whatever you may need to jot a note down on. You never know when you're going to need a pen, so I always carry a pen or two. And then the last thing in the top here is a big case of gum, just in case somebody's breath stinks, or maybe my breath stinks. Maybe I need something to freshen me up. But this is really handy, and I like handing these out to people in the blind, especially when you're in tight quarters. You have too many people inside of a frame, and you got to be real close talk. This is a lifesaver. All right, that's everything inside of this tiny little caddy. I mean, that's a lot of stuff to just fit in here. So that's the upper deck. As you move into lower deck, it's more of your macro type stuff. I got my Flying V bird blade. You never know when you're going to need this. If you're cleaning on the tailgate or you're going to a buddy's house and cleaning there, or whatever the case may be, having a knife with you, your cleaning knife is really valuable. In addition to that, I carry a V sharpener in case my blade goes dull, which this one really doesn't. I don't really use this V sharpener on this knife, but in case your buddy has a dull knife or he's using his pocket knife or whatever, A, recommend he gets a bird blade, B, have a V sharpener so that he can help you clean. This is my cow pouch. This gets filled up. I have a couple different cow pouches. I have a 10 gauge one, which is this. I have a 20 gauge one, a 12 gauge one, a 28 gauge one, and then I just throw it in here. You can fit a lot of shells inside of these things. This one doesn't have many in it because it's the end of the season. You're basically only shooting 5 to 10 shells a day, but this lives in the bottom. Got some gloves in here. These are the gloves that I would then wear, you know, most days. If your buddy doesn't have any gloves, you can throw these on. If you're cutting brush and you need something that's lightweight but durable, just a nice pair of leather gloves there, kind of an extra pair. I got a really small Phillips head screwdriver. That comes in handy in a number of different ways, but especially if you need a punch or something, you need to fix a gun, whatever it is, that Phillips head works really well. I carry a crane call because everybody loves to see cranes work, so if some cranes fly over, I'll go ahead and rip on the crane call. We can't shoot them, but it's nice to have because it's just kind of, you know, if there's no geese in the air and there's a pair of cranes, I mean, hit them with the little call. It's pretty fun to watch them come in and land and, you know, just kill some time. More medicine. I got a sunglasses case. This is really important because I like to wear sunglasses while we're out in the field. Now, it's a big, you know, it's a little bit taboo to be wearing your sunglasses when you're in the blind and the birds are approaching. Everybody bitches about it. But the mirroring, I think, is what really causes that. You know, that stigma of this is not going to work. If you have a blue lens or a green lens or something like that and it shines out of the blind, I can see that. But if you just have a polarized black lens, I don't think that it makes a huge difference. And in the bright sun, sun's up, it's 11 o'clock, like I don't like not wearing sunglasses. So I always carry these. They do not break if you put them in a case. So I throw them in a case. Wader repair kit. You know, this is really handy because if you end up catching yourself on some barbed wire or for whatever reason you got a hole in your waders and it's going to ruin your hunt, a quick, easy option for repair, field repair is really valuable, whether you or your buddy needs it. Always have one. Really important. I got a spork in here just in case, you know, I don't know, you need it. Rarely ever use it, but it has been used before, so at least you got something that you can, like, you know, shovel in some food. If a guy I don't know, maybe bring some chili out. Probably not, but if you did, you got it. And that's basically it, aside from first aid kit. Now this, I think, is one of the most important things that you can carry in your blind bag, and at least one person needs to have a badass first aid kit / trauma kit in their blind bag ready to use. So I built this one myself. This is a tiny little bag. This is all hand built based on a bunch of research and talking to different medical guys that I kind of reached out to. This thing is a first aid / trauma kit all in one in a tiny little package. Most importantly about this, aside from the contents, is that multiple people know everything that's in it and where it is. Because if you are the one that gets hurt and you're the one that needs care instantly, somebody needs to be able to get in here and provide some sort of trauma care right now. And seconds matter in that scenario. So making sure that somebody, I mean, Brady and I run through this every single year, what's in here and where it is located, so that if I end up getting hurt and he needs to perform some sort of procedure on me in the field, he knows where everything is in those seconds. You can make those seconds matter, man, in those moments. I'm going to run through just a couple things in my trauma kit. You start with gauze and everything, but most importantly in here is the quick clot and the zip stitches and the high vent. So we have this high fin vent. What this is a chest seal. So this is trauma, right? There's a terrible accident in the field and you need to cover a wound on somebody over their chest. This is a very, very important thing to carry. Chest seal. Tourniquet. Tourniquet is very important as well. There's a bunch of different stuff in here. I can do a blog post for you guys that shows everything that I carry in here. But the most importantly, you want to have syringes. You want to have to clean the wounds. You want to have chest seals. You want to have quick clots so you can stop the bleeding. And you need to know where everything is. So that's everything that we carry. I carry in my Go Box for a blind bag. Hope you guys get a little bit of information out of this and it helps you guys in the future. But, you know, most importantly, if you were to take one thing away from all this junk that I put inside of this box and carry with me every day, it would be have a robust first aid / trauma kit and make sure everybody knows how to use it. Good luck.